Okay, so we will look at the hand and the foot, and then we'll be done with the bones. This model is in anatomical position, so right now you're looking at the palm of the right hand. Okay, when you're looking at these bones, the easiest way to remember the order of the bones, because you'll need to know where each of these bones lie. Start with the scaphoid. Okay, this is the proximal bone on the thumb side. Okay, so if you kind of put your hand there, okay, close to your radius, okay, that's your scaphoid. And then if you just kind of go in a circle from that bone around to your pinky and then back around to your thumb, you can remember the sentence, straight line to pinky, and then up and around, here comes the thumb. So it goes straight line to pinky, here comes the thumb. Okay, and so those bones, straight is scaphoid, line is lunate, 2 is the triquetral, P for pinky is the pisiform, and then here is the hamate. It's kind of neat. You have this, it's called the hamate hook right here. You don't need to know that, but you can feel it on your wrist bones. And then C for comes is capitate. And then the thumb, you have your trapezoid, and then your trapezium. Okay, so scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum or triquetral, pisiform, hamate, capitate, trapezoid, trapezium. Okay, I also have a picture in your lab that kind of shows you this. I like this way of remembering the carpals because it doesn't matter which orientation you have. Okay, if you're looking at the anterior side, if you're looking at the posterior side, okay, just start with that bottom bone on the thumb side and just make a circle. Okay, if you're looking at a posterior view, this pisiform bone is teeny tiny. Okay, it's just kind of a little sphere. So sometimes if you're looking at a posterior view, okay, you can see that pisiform bone is hidden. Okay, just be aware of that. Just know that it just kind of looks like a little pea hanging out there in your wrist. Okay, so then you have your metacarpals. Okay, these are the bones of your palm. Okay, so your metacarpals are named 1 through 5, starting at your thumb. Okay, so this is the first metacarpal, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, and then you have your phalanges. Your phalanges, okay, these are your finger bones. Okay, you have a proximal phalange, middle phalange or phalanx, and then distal. Okay, on your thumb, okay, your thumb only has the proximal phalanx and the distal phalanx. Okay, so your thumb only has 2 phalanges, the rest of your fingers have 3. Okay, and then if you look at the joints, okay, right here, it's the metacarpophalangeal joint. Okay, metacarpals and then the phalanx. Okay, and then you have the proximal, if my mouse would work, proximal interphalangeal joint, or PIP, and then the distal joint, the DIP. Okay, that's it for the hand. Let's look at the foot. Okay, so we talked about the malleolus bones in the tibia and the fibula. Okay, you have your medial malleolus, your lateral malleolus that makes your ankle. And these kind of cup this bone right here called your talus. Okay, so your talus is where your tibia and your fibula articulate with your foot. Below your talus, you have your calcaneus. This is your heel bone. Okay, you have an important tendon that attaches here. It's called your calcaneal tendon. It's also called your Achilles heel. Okay, you can feel that ligament right there. It's a pretty strong ligament. Flip the model so that we're looking at the superior side of the foot. We'll learn the rest of the bones really quickly. So you have your talus, you have your calcaneus, okay, with your attachment site for your calcaneal tendon. Okay, and then you have your navicular bone. Okay, let's see, your navicular bone. Then you have your cuboid bone. Then on the medial side, you have your medial cuneiform bone, your intermediate cuneiform bone. You will actually have to go back and add this on the word bank. I actually left it off of the word bank, so make sure that you go and add that intermediate cuneiform bone, and then you have, come on, sorry, you have your cuboid. So to help you remember the bones of the foot and how they're set up, just remember tiger cubs need milk, M-I-L-C. Okay, and then the rest of the foot is set up the same as the hand, but instead of calling them carpals, they're called tarsal bones. So metatarsals, okay, they're numbered 1 through 5, starting at your big toe, your hallux, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you have your phalanges. Okay, the phalanges are the same. They're called phalanges if they're in your toes or if they're in your fingers. Okay, you have the proximal, you have the middle, and then you have the distal phalanx, okay, on all of your toes except for your big toe. Okay, you just have your proximal and distal phalanx. Okay, and then the last thing to look at, and you'll need to look at this on your lab page, it has the arches identified for you. Okay, but if you're looking at the foot, okay, we have 3 arches. The arches of the foot are there to kind of act as shock absorbers, to kind of help when you step so that you can bear weight and it doesn't jar all the way up to your back. Okay, so if you look at the foot, you have an arch here. This is on the lateral side, so this is the lateral longitudinal arch. Okay, and then if you look on the inside, okay, you have a nice arch right here. This is your medial longitudinal arch because it's on the medial side. And then if you look here, you can see how the foot is arched right here. This is your transverse arch. Okay, that's it for the bones.